Welcome to the first ever Africa Amateur Championship at the world famous Leopard Creek in South Africa. Surrounded by the natural beauty of Kruger National Park, the players will be hunting down the opportunity to become our inaugural champions.
As far as the venue, Leopard Creek is considered one of the best courses on the continent, and since 2000 has hosted the Alfred Dunhill Championship on the DP World Tour.
72 men will compete over 72 holes of stroke play, while the Women's Invitational will be across 54. But wait, it's not just trophies that they're playing for. The women's victor will earn many exemptions, featuring the Women's Amateur Championship in 2024, plus final qualifying for the AIG Women's Open. While the men's champion will earn the chance to play in the 152nd Open at Royal Troon, the Amateur Championship, the Alfred Dunhill Championship, and Waterfall City Tournament of Champions, powered by Attic. History will soon be written as we look to crown our new King and Queen of Leopard Creek. See what I've done there? Like Simba, quite rock. Oh, look, a hit though.
Sanmodani dumelang habari mehaban mora. Bonjour, hello and welcome to the magnificent Kruger National Park. Just on the outskirts of the iconic Leopard Creek Golf Club is where we're beaming to you live at the inaugural Africa Amateur Championship. George Harper Jr., what a fantastic place you have chosen to make your first trip out to the African continent, my friend.
I'm very lucky. I feel extremely lucky. What a beautiful, rugged terrain. It really feels like you're in the wild here. And the weather's certainly turning it on as well.
Certainly, mercury expected to peak at around 34 degrees Celsius today. Not too much wind to speak of. Expected to blow at around 4 to 8 miles per hour today. And the stimp meter running at 11 at the greens are. It's already been a fantastic week. It's a gathering of Africa's best amateur golfers as they've all descended on Leopard Creek right here in the province of Mpumalanga, rubbing shoulders with the likes of Mr. Johan Rupert.
And Martin Slover's there as well, 9 years at the helm, and this will be his last, but what a platform it is. It's obviously about camaraderie as well for these kids, creating a world-class platform for the most talented amateur golfers in Africa.
Absolutely, and RNA of course want to make golf more accessible, more appealing and more inclusive, and that's led to the establishment of this wonderful tournament that brings together the best from the continent. We've already seen some spectacular golf early at the start of this inaugural event. Ivan Verster, one of the leading players, setting the early pace and the early mark around the Leopard Creek layout. Took a look at how he went around. This a birdie at the 7th, a par 3.
Nothing but net for Verster, but the man of the moment, Matthew Bramford. He was on a roll here on the 10th. An absolute monster birdie putt, and that certainly deserves a fist pump. Player from Zimbabwe on absolute fire.
That was, of course, to set up back-to-back birdies, this at 11, a much shorter and clinical once again is Bramford.
Had another chance here on the glorious 13th, the real feature hole here at Leopard Creek, but he'll be a little bit disappointed to leave this one in the jaws, but he certainly made up for it, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He then went on a run of 3 consecutive birdies, cleaning up for par here at 13 and 14, 15, getting birds there, and this to get it to 7 under par at the 16th, bottom of the cup.
And here he is tapping in a superb round. It certainly feels like that back 9 is where you need to make your hay. And a 7 under 65 to lead the inaugural Africa Amateur. You'll take that every day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. And look at that card. How clean is that? Bogey-free 65 to set the early mark, Matthew Bramford. Great start for him. And let's see how things look at the moment. Matthew Bramford there, as you can see, you've just seen him post at 65. Got a 2-shot cushion over Ivan Verster. Young man also going along, getting birdies on the back 9 as well. Alton van der Merwe, one of the early favorites coming in. He's 2 under through 6.
Well, let's see who we're going to feature this afternoon. Some exciting players. Ajib Hughes, he's playing with Dominic Musonda and Brian Newman.
Match number 17, Christian Maas coming into the week as the hot favourite, playing alongside Adel Balala and Mehdi Fakori.
At 10:41 this morning, they teed off Tanaka Chitora. And they'll be joined by Sofiani Darkman and Godfrey Sabuga.
Jordan Burnand, 23-year-old, he'll be teeing off alongside Simon Duploy and Isa Abu Ella from Egypt. Time to check out some live golf now. We showed you the feature groups, and there was Adel Balala's approach shot here at the 10th rather.
Nice easy start, I believe, here to the back 9. You can just bomb the fairway bunkers and give yourself a chance. And he's certainly done that. What a way to start the coverage, Christian Maas.
Oh, he's looking to bounce back. Dropped the shot at the 8th to drop back to 1 under par. Part the 9th and looking to get himself his first birdie on the back 9. And as we mentioned already at the start of the broadcast, it seems that's where most of the scoring is going to happen in this opening round. The Texas University student back home after being in America for the last couple of months.
Yeah, he's certainly got some talent, this kid, and you can tell that he's been one of the favourites this week. Everyone's been saying his name. So there's a little bit of pressure on the South African.
First look at the par 4 9th hole. Match number 18. This is of course Tanaka Chatora, Sofian Dahman and Godfrey Subuga from Uganda. Sofian, one of the leading Moroccan players. It's amazing just how much the game is growing on the continent.
One of many great personalities is Chatora. Enjoyed chatting to him earlier in the week. He's got artist's hands. He loves doing a bit of art in his away time, so he needs a bit of wizardry here. Lovely soft hands. Scares the hole.
Haven't seen too many players this morning when I went to check out actually making the 9th in 2. It's a popular spot just that front side before the green at the 9th. So your short game has to be spot on today.
Yeah, these two holes, 9 and 18, running parallel, are really beautiful, aren't they? That's a lovely effort from the front of the green there.
Let's head back to the 10th. Del Balhala, his third shot, coming up short below the hole. Got himself an uphill putt here.
Balala made a solid start. He was 2 under at one stage, but then an 8 really derailed his front 9. So looking to start mounting that comeback once again, fighting a few demons, but he's shown early that he can go low. So 25-year-old will be looking to charge back.
Godfrey Subunga, really interesting how he actually got to the tournament. Was out in America, last minute ditch efforts to actually get him a visa. Once that was actually done, just to get him here in time, landed here last night. So it's good to have him taking part in Africa Amateur.
He joined us in the media centre for his pre-tournament interview, and that was meant to be 2 days ago. So as he drains a very good par, a much needed par. Well done
You can just tell the the happiness, of course. I'm sure the jet lag certainly maybe starting to kick in, but still enthusiastic. It's Godfrey.
Very relaxed demeanour. Seemed like a really good personality, and that's what I'm noticing this week throughout the whole continent. So many great personalities, a lot of energy and a lot of fun. So this tournament really does have a great feel for it as Chatora finishes off.
I mean, it's amazing, and obviously, George, you've covered a few of these amateur championships, but what the RNA have actually managed to do in elevating this tournament, and you can see it in the excitement of the youngsters that have been here throughout the week, all looking for the opportunities that really do come with this championship.
Yeah, really elevating the amateur game in Africa, and I guess it's helping them play at the highest level and create a pathway, and hopefully be an inspiration for many others in the continent. Can Fakori inspire a few people with a birdie here on 10? It's going uphill. Everything slants from right to left on this green, so he's got to get it there, and 180. He's a passionate man. He won't like that.
You give back a shot. Unfortunately, Elmeri. Not too many places in the world where you can play with the backdrop being the wonderful Kruger. And you've been out, of course, and checked out the park a little bit here, Georgie.
I got very lucky. We went on a lovely safari. 4 AM start, but every minute was fantastic as Mars looks to convert a tremendous approach into the 10th. Agonisingly close. Boy. 10 and 11, a really good chance to get some shots back, and that one will just pull a few heartstrings. That'll be a bit frustrating.
Yeah, he'll be hoping that frustration doesn't start to set in as the birdies go by for Christian Mars. They didn't for Matthew. Abilities that have descended upon South Africa to take part in this inaugural event. Zimbabwe, Zambia, Egypt, Morocco, all represented. 24 nations that have come through to play in this inaugural event.
Lots of South African flags. They'll all be looking to derail the hopes of a South African champ. They're going to be hard to beat. They've got a good group of players here this week. Christian Mars. Might be a bit of anger in this one. Drivable par 4. Fun little hole. Henny Zula's with us today.
He's given absolutely everything to it, but it's leaking right. Settle. Okay. Green flag is up. That stops short of the heavy stuff.
Yeah, right is the only way. You don't want to go on this hole. Fair few snakes off to the right here on the 11th.
I thought I heard something right next to me. I moved on pretty sharpish.
Yeah, I need you walking down the middle of the fairways, please, Henny.
Yes, noted. It's that toss-up between getting shade and being safe. All right. Balala, he's got some amends to make after the last tee shot that went way left. Obviously, as you said, you can't go left here. But there is a great birdie opportunity awaiting him.
The pin's up the back right. So if you can find your way on the left side of this fairway, it gives you a better angle in.
He's leaning, and that red flag, heavy stuff. I'm going to go and do some very tentative searching.
The wheel's just slightly falling off for Balala as he looks to reload.
Tough start for some, a fantastic start for others to the Africa Amateur Championship. Matthew Bramford leading the way, 7 under 65 that he's posted in the groups that went out early on. As the afternoon heat intensifies, the hope is that the golf will also do the same.
First ever Africa Amateur Championship is being played at Leopard Creek in South Africa from the 21st to the 24th of February 2024. It follows the success of other men and women's amateur championships organised by the R&A in Asia Pacific and Latin America, allowing players from the African continent to compete at the highest level while creating a pathway for future development. The championship will feature 72 men's amateur golfers from the African region competing in a stroke play format, with the winner receiving the following exemptions, including place at the 152nd Open at Royal Troon. The champion will be decided by stroke play over 4 rounds. The 4 lowest scores and ties over the opening 36 holes will qualify for the final 2 rounds. In the event of a tie after 4 rounds, the winner of the championship will be determined by a hole-by-hole sudden death playoff. An invitational event of 20 elite women amateur golfers from the region will also be held over 54 holes at Leopard Creek during the week of the championship. The winner of this Africa Amateur Women's Invitational will also be awarded a number of exemptions. The Africa Amateur is a world-class platform for the most talented amateur golfers in Africa to compete against each other. Find out more about the championship at rna.org.
Oh, some of the locals have made an appearance. Spot quite a lot of hippo around here, Georgie.
Yeah, you can hear them barking at night. Looking very comfy in the water. Back to the 9th. Glorious looking hole. Birdie chance here. Ella above the hole. This should be breaking from his left to right. Really got to look at the grains here as well at Leopard Creek. You can see it on the screens how defined they are, but it really does change your putts, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You really have to pay great attention to the grain here at Leopard Creek. You can just check the change and just how the grain flows.
And with the greens running at 11 on the stump as well, if you're down grain, it's going to be some fun.
Simon Deploy.
He would have learnt a little bit from that last putt.
Just to get back to level. Will be a good feeling heading down to that 10th tee box if this goes down. Oh yes, he certainly has. Went to school and learned, has Simon Deploy. Gets back to even par. Opened with a birdie. Closes the front 9 with a birdie. Out in 35. Henny Koyak, of course, out there for us on the 10th. Henny.
Yeah, Christian Maas is just rehearsing at the moment. He's in prime position, but not in prime position is Bilala. He was actually really lucky to find his ball in that long grass, but it's impossible to play out of there. So he's just taking a drop. Now sizing up what he has to do. For Corey, also sizing up. I believe they're both going to wait for Bilala to go first.
Well, in his opening speech, Mr. Johan Rupert did warn the players that if you do push it out into the bush, rather take a penalty drop and don't even bother going in there. And it was actually fascinating to see the faces change as soon as he said that, because there's plenty black mambas out there.
Oh yeah, you don't want to mess around with it from a wildlife point of view, but also from an injury point of view. I mean, it's a kind of hip height for me. Okay.
Balala looking to run one in there. Tough looking shot, as I mentioned earlier. There's a little bowl at the back right of the screen, so you can use the slopes if you can ride the edge, which you can just see a tinkle of there. This one he's got up a little bit higher and judged pretty well. That should hold and come back to the pin ever so slightly.
Yeah, you don't want to leave yourself short, because anything that's not getting up to that top tier kind of runs back off here.
Now look where Christian Masters. This is a huge drop off at the front of the screen. If you fall short, it'll roll all the way back down to where he is. So hopefully he's not in a divot. Can he get a low one spinning up in there? Trying to use the slope ever so slightly. Keep coming, keep coming. Very curious. Pretty good effort.
Yeah, decent effort. Gives himself another chance at a birdie, but it's going to be so quick, my goodness.
Downhill, downgrained as we go to Alton van der Merwe, another hot favourite here this week. This will be hooping from right to left. Everything goes that way on this hole.
Good attempt for Alton, who this week is trying to go back-to-back. Got himself a win in the Golf RSA International Amateur a week ago. So comes into this event off the back of some good form.
As we go to Balala. 25 years old, I'll tell you what. He's got a CV like a grown man. He runs 2 businesses. End-to-end logistics and freight, and plus a tech company as well, fibre optic service provider. So, and he's married with a kid.
When does he get the time to practice?
No. Oh, when he was telling me that earlier, I couldn't believe it. Very mature young 25-year-old. And a nice shot below the hole there.
You'll see the players, of course, with the push carts. Caddy's not allowed at this event. Here's a look at another promising young talent from South Africa, Daniel Bennett. This for birdie at the 8th. Look how quick this is. Turn.
Oh, listen to you, OG. Bennett will not be happy with you, but what a young golfer he is, 18 years old, and he is certainly capable of going low. For Corey will be up first.
Should come slightly from his right-hand side.
So slippery here from above the hole. Both of these players are going to have some tricky little putts for birdie. Christian Mars will be doing a lot of journalism here. It's just trickled off. You get the sense that Mars is due. He's been fighting through this round. Currently 1 under par. Quite a colourful opening 9 scorecard. 3 birdies, 2 bogeys. And as we saw this morning, Matthew Bramford, 5 birdies on the back 9. They're out there. And you feel if Christian can just slide one in from left to right here, it could kickstart his back 9.
Absolutely. Ivan Versteer also, he found himself 4 back 9 birdies. So they're certainly out there. Oh, using the entire circumference of the hole there, Christian Mars. Can you see the relief in his eyes?
Is that the little bit of luck he needed? That never looked like it was going to drop. Tremendous result. That'll relieve some stress.
Adele Balala, this for bogey.
Claims to be a short game magician, so a nice little up and down here will help begin proving that. Loves his short game, enjoys fun around the greens, and a nice up and down after finding trouble off the tee.
Back to the 8th. Alton van der Merwe. Stay in red numbers. Yeah, it cleans up.
You mentioned his win last week. It wasn't just a win, was it? It was in tremendous style, holding out a bunker shot in a playoff. So he will certainly be riding high this week.
Absolutely. He came back from 5 behind to actually force that playoff. Looking at the leaderboard at the moment. It's Matthew Bramford leading the way, 7 under 65. He posted. Ivan Vester playing behind him, 6 under 66. He opened with. Christian Maas getting his first back nine birdie at 11, gets it to 2 under par, and in 3rd place on his own.
Yeah, you think if he can just chip away and get around that 4-5 mark, he's well within reach and where he'll want to be after the first round. Just needs to settle and stay in it, because it won't take much for him to light up here. He's played this golf course over 50 times, so you have no doubt that he's got a low one in him.
This 12th hole is absolutely stunning, and it's wonderful because you come down from below on the 11th green, you come up to the 12th tee. You might be able to hear it in my mic because there's a lovely cooling breeze. And in terms of the shot that you've got, I mean, it's in the 120, so just a short little accessible pin right at the front of the green. You've got a couple bunkers around, but that's not going to cause too much trouble for these guys. Wind is coming in, as I said, and it's off the right-hand side, into and off the right-hand side, and it's down the hill, so you can see that's out in front of you. It's a really, really good birdie opportunity, this.
Henny, this hole for me is when you really feel like you're in Africa. You stand on that tee and you look at that spectacular view. You're like, yep, yeah, this is paradise. This is Africa.
I am going to have to take a look at a thesaurus tonight, because I'm going to have to come up with a ton of descriptive words that aren't awesome and amazing because I feel like otherwise I'm going to get quite repetitive over the course of the next few days. But you're not wrong, George. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. You can see the Kruger Park ahead of you. The mountains come up. There's no trees in your view really blocking you out.
So
all round, it's a breath of fresh air.
A much needed breeze with temperatures soaring. You've got 2 tee options here on the 12th, one at 120, which Henny mentioned, and then they've clawed one back here to 156 yards as well. So today, 132. Can he dial one in?
Oh, finds that greenside bunker. Not what he would have wanted.
Henny, it's a very narrow green, isn't it? So distance control is paramount.
It is, yeah. I think he'll be really disappointed with that, though, because it's such an accessible pin today. I don't think you can get a more friendly pin for day one. I think the danger here for these guys is, as I said, that wind is coming off the right-hand side, pushing everything towards that bunker that we saw Mars hit it in. So can Corey learn from him? You really got to start it out on the right edge of the green and let that breeze bring it back in.
And a pretty solid effort there. Uphill putt coming from right to left. A birdie chance. Looks like he's got a good compact swing and a bit of strength. He did say he loves the gym.
Yeah, there's some speed out here in this group. And there's also a lot of patience. Balala has, you know, had a really tough last couple of holes. Missed one left off the tee, missed one right. I have not seen an ounce of frustration from him, which from a professional in the game would be impressive. But for a young amateur with so much at stake here on day one, I've been very impressed with his demeanour so far. The wind has just got up. It really is blowing now, the second he's gotten over this.
Oh, as you look at Balala's tee shot, he looks to have pulled it well left. We know all about Christian Maas, of course, a favorite in the field this week. We know what he can do on the golf course. We know what he's been doing in Texas. But what does he do when he comes back home and relaxes at his family home in Pretoria? Let's find out.
Hello, Juicy Girl. I don't normally eat a lot of breakfast in America, but the toast and Bovril stuff, well, I love it.
What do you look forward to eating the most when you get back to town?
Biltong. Oh no, droogers. Droogers. I used to walk around the house doing this the whole day when I was about 5 years old. When I was younger, I definitely broke almost every window with some sort of ball.
He's a baller. He's got a lot of ball sense and he likes to play rugby, cricket, anything to do with a ball.
But I can still pass now and then.
And I love golf, so he went with me to the driving range initially, and then I saw he's got a natural ability and gave him my clubs to start to play and cut them shorter. And basically from 8, 9, 10, we joined Pretoria Country Club, but he just loves golf. So, yeah.
All throughout school, probably be here every day, almost. Stuff like my Instagram, I'm only looking at golf videos and swing videos of Tiger and whoever puts up the best videos of people, and everything's just golf. Very good. Should do that more often. Just hit.
Maas, wow, what a young superstar. You know, he's got his Texas bag out here. He holds himself like a professional, and he will need every single ounce of his professional skills to tackle what he's got ahead of him here. It's plugged in the face on 12 with not much of a stance. First though, Balala. You'd actually rather Balala's shot. He's down way to the left, but it's a nice line. He's got plenty of green to work with, coming back up into the breeze.
It's such a big drop off there on 12. I thought we'd see where Balala is a bit more often when the pin's on the left side, but we're getting to experience the steep drop off early. A little bit of coast to coast.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, George, because it's the first time you really feel that wind. I think Balala got unlucky with it blowing on him, but that ran on a little. I think he was happy with his pitch spot, but just caught the downslope of the bunker slightly.
Yeah, these short holes, they're beautiful. Beautiful off the tee, but proving to be tricky as Maas tries to splash one out, and he's done pretty well with a poached egg in that bunker.
Yeah, it's weird to say, considering that obviously it's just on the fringe, but that was actually really good from where he was. It was a complete worst nightmare fried egg situation. I know he's frustrated a little by that, but to keep it where he did, well, not too bad at all.
He's got a bit of work to do to try and save par. Having gained a stroke in the previous hole, he'll hope not to give it back right away. Can see the change in grain here on the 12th green, just an indication of what's to come.
Yeah, you know, if you're at home and grain's not something you've experienced before, when it's dark that means it's into the grain, and when it's light and shiny that means it's down grain and it's quick. And so you can use that as a tool to help read the greens and the speed, of course.
Almadi Fakore, one of 6 Moroccan players in the field this week. The only one in chance for a birdie. But before we get there, Christian Maas, after that splash out of the bunker, certainly needs some magic here, does the young South African.
former winner of the South African Amateur Championship. Like to dominate on the continent.
Very surprised to see him with a wedge in hand there, and a valiant effort. I like that little knock on the head.
Very well judged indeed. Gives himself a tap in for the bogey.
Thunderbird now making the turn, his second shot on 9. Lovely angle in for this pin. He plays these beautiful punchy draws, really compresses the golf ball. And that one has nearly got him in trouble, but he's dry.
Back to the par 3 12th hole. Ameri Fakori. This for birdie. Oh, pulled out immediately. Didn't start it on line.
Yeah, that putt, he was hoping it would work its way a little bit from right to left as that slopes from back to front, but no dice. But in comparison to his playing partners, an easy par is not all bad.
He'll take that and run. Stays at +1.
Now an eagle chance. Musonda, could he spark up what's been a relatively tough day here on the glorious 13th? Oh, gave it a really good chance, and what an eagle it would be on that hole. We've already had one there today from Judd Sunderson.
Oh, it's turning to be a bit of a nightmare now for Adel Balala. Look to contain, not to give too many shots back. Another bogey for the Kenyan.
And let's see if he can finish off a really solid hole here on the par 5 13th. Using that claw grip. Taps it in, centre of the cup. Lovely birdie.
There are 3 par 5s on the back 9 here at Leopard Creek. So anytime you get a chance to take advantage, you really have to. And here's a look just above that 13th green where Musonda just made birdie.
As we see your leaderboard, Matthew Bramford leading the way, 7 under 65, a tremendous back 9 which included 5 birdies. From Zimbabwe, he has set the pace, and just 1 shot back, Ivan Verster. It's all to play for. It's day 1 of the Africa Amateur Championship.
Simon Duploy, level as he makes the turn alongside Jack Buchanan, Reda El Hali as well, all level par. Players from Uganda, South Africa, Egypt, all represented. Joseph Chinwai, 2 over 74. He posted to open his campaign.
Colourful personalities and colourful leaderboard. Those flags really showing the great countries and personalities that come from all around Africa. There's Adel Balala there in 32nd.
Diane Pesi Lucas from Botswana, 6 over through 14. Great the work that's happening out in Botswana as they look to ignite the game and continue to grow golf in Southern Africa.
Yeah, it's a good community of golf participation here in Africa. An estimated 5.3 million adults engage with the game across all formats, so there's a good base there to build on. And bringing this championship to this part of the world is only going to do just that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to see how this championship grows, George. It's amazing just speaking to the youngsters, the opportunity that it provides just to come out here and test yourself against the best of the best on the continent. Really shows you where your game is and where you need to be if you want to kick on to that next step, and that's what this man is hoping to do. Played well at the South African Open Championship towards the end of 2023, finishing as the leading amateur and winning the Freddie Tate Cup out at Blair Ethel Golf Club. Oh,
one of the older players in the field, 27 years of age, and the camera's cut away at the right time because I don't think he'll be very happy with that wedge shot.
Godfrey Damane for birdie at 11.
Well, earlier on, Wemba Chada had the honour of the first tee shot. The 21-year-old from Zambia is an RNA Foundation scholar and attended the Africa Turf Academy in Durban. We spent some time with him at home as he prepared for the championship.
Hello. This is my home, situated in Kalulushi in the Copper Belt, Zambia.
His first sport was actually football when he was very young, but how he switched to golf was quite amazing. I think he was playing with a few sticks and little small guava nuts, and so I don't know where the interest came from. It was interesting anyway, and how he's come to this level. It's quite amazing actually.
I'll just show you my home club, my golf club, where everything started. It's a quiet club. That's what I enjoy the most. I can practice freely without any distractions. Golf opened opportunities for me to go study in South Africa. I don't know if my parents were able to pay for me because it's just too expensive to go study. R&A is trying to help few students to come to the African Turf Academy. I can't put into words how much I enjoy the greenkeeping side. I love it so much. Ever since I started playing golf, I made a decision to myself that I want to take golf seriously. I want to win the career Grand Slam. I believe in myself that I can do it, so I sacrificed a lot. Spending hours on the heat, playing in the rain. Yeah, you have to sacrifice a lot for you to chase down what you really want in life.
Van der Merwe now, after a little bit of a dicey chip, he pushed it a long way past this hole. He has one for par coming back. Slippery one towards the water.
Oh, not what you want to do there. Oh, let's go back to the beautiful par 5 13th. Henny, what does Fakori have left here?
It's lying nicely just down the right-hand side, and he's playing for position. He's done the smart thing. Just advanced it up to the entry point of the green. Perfectly done.
Yeah, as soon as you get your tee shot slightly wrong on this hole, that's the great thing about it, is it forces you to lay up. The rough isn't quite as easy as you'd like, so if you're looking to go for this green, you certainly have to be in the short stuff.
Yeah, and in the short stuff and in absolutely perfect condition is Bilala and Mars a little further up, who absolutely smoked that. Like I said on the last hole, there is not a shortage of speed in this group. It's impressive to watch these future superstars.
This feature hole, it's got trouble all the way along it. Water on the left, out of bounds into the Crocodile River. Shouldn't be an issue for these players, but the bailout is to certainly block this slightly right. And as you can see there on your screen, Bilala has a little bit of a tree to work around, but when you're 5 over, he's going all in here.
Yeah, body language wasn't great. I mean, he's going to be disappointed that he wasn't more aggressive with that, but if that's your miss, you are happy. Birdie's still on the cards. He left that at the perfect spot, front right of the green. He can chip that back up. Mars is... It's really interesting to watch. He's got this, like, confident Scotty Scheffler-like swagger to him. As I said, he's kitted out in his Texas gear, and he was just sitting on the wheel of his trolley, waiting for his playing partners to go. Now it's a relaxed, all right, what have I got?
Yeah, he's a great personality, and he's in position A1 here, no doubt about it. That pin right in the middle of the screen, so it's a real chance to get one in close here and surge into this back nine at Leopard Creek.
Yeah, this has got eagle written all over it. He'll be thinking, if I can just nestle this up. You've got to leave it short of the pin. Long is absolutely dead, you're gone. Left, that slope on the left comes into play. So if he can leave it short right, then eagle is on.
Aggressive line, steering it down. As it held on, looks slightly left, Henny.
Oh yeah, no, as I said, that long is dead. That bounced off of that long left bank. We're going to have to go up there and see if that remained in bounds or not.
Oh, that's the danger at 13. It gives you a chance, but you really have to be spot on there. It's amazing just how big that green is, but where that pin is today, back left, certainly a sucker one.
Just in a little world of his own here is Van der Merwe. All of a sudden he's got a 4-footer for bogey, and that is disappointing. He will be fuming after being in prime real estate off the tee.
From where he was, you were thinking birdie at one point. Walks off with a double to turn 1 over par for Alton van der Merwe. Spoke to his coach yesterday, and he was saying they've actually been working on a bit of a change in his swing for the last 11 days. So I don't know if maybe those old habits are starting to creep in. It's a beautiful clubhouse here at Leopard Creek, just behind the 18th and 9th green.
Certainly is stunning. The canvas is beautiful here at the Leopard Creek Country Club, and players from all over the continent are getting treated to an amazing week, courtesy of the R&A. Scores are starting to flood in here on day one. One of those weeks where the build-up's been so exciting. Just to get underway, to get balls in the air, is certainly worth the wait. And look at this. This 13th hole has very quickly become one of my favourite holes I've ever seen. I think the players might actually start getting their cell phones out on this green at some point.
Absolutely. And we see Christian Mars walking valiantly towards his ball. What does he have left here? Is he safe?
He is a very, very lucky boy indeed. It took a big bounce, but it's safe, it's in bounds, and he actually has a pretty reasonable chip shot back up. Not okay is his poor mum, who said to me, why can't he just do something safe? Middle of the green, lay up. And then she said, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to enjoy this view. There's a stunning view actually from where he's playing his chip shot. Straight down the Crocodile River. It's gorgeous.
Oh, the stresses you see parents following their boys and girls. It's not an easy sport to be a #1 fan of. As we pop back, you mentioned Henny, the good spot to lay up, and this is certainly it.
Yeah, the only, I guess, unlucky part for him here for Corey is that it's on a little bit of a down slope, and there's a ridge coming off the bunker on the right hand side, so it's going to come out lower than usual. He's using his loft.
Punching down on it, getting a little bit of bite. It's pretty well played. Beautiful hands at this level. You really see how good they are when the short game comes to the party.
Yeah, there's no fear with the short game at this level. It's actually really nice to see. They've got some nice speed as well. It doesn't apply just to the long game, but speed in the short game is so crucial to getting that spin that we just saw from Fakori. Bilala, well, pretty much has the same shot, but he's on a little bit of an upslope and obviously a lot closer, so he can fly this about 3/4 of the way to the pin. Leave it below the hole if he can.
Just like that. Left himself a nice uphill putt.
So as I said from Marce's side, when I'm standing at his ball, it looks pretty reasonable. When I'm standing the other side of this green, it's actually quite quick down from the fringe where he's got to pitch it to the hole now. If that can settle. Oh, that's absolutely stunning.
The Crocodiles weren't scaring him there. He put the backdrop out of his mind and has stuck it nice and close for a birdie chance.
Well, Georgie, you mentioned, I mean, he's played here over 50 times, has Christian Marce, so you must be thinking he probably knows if I go and probably just a club extra then goes off, he's not going to be too in danger and go back into the Kruger. So bit of course knowledge seems to have worked out there for Christian Marce at 13. Let's go to the 12th. Chatora for birdie off the fringe.
Won the Dugmore Trophy in Zimbabwe in January, so knows the feeling of getting a win under the belt, does Chatora. Henny, is this your first look, your first glance down at the 13th? It's pretty beautiful stuff. I can see hippos pretty much all day there.
We're going to let Henny move up ahead to the 14th. See if Fakori can get a much needed birdie here. Get back to level par. Oh, it just glances past the hole. Good effort from the Moroccan.
This is not the golf course. When your on-course commentator doesn't respond, you start getting worried. So luckily Henny is walking to the 14th.
We can confirm that she's safe. But we've seen, right, when you get to the 13th over the years at the Alfred Daniel Championship here, you get the elephants coming down to the Crocodile River to quench their thirst. Just such a beautiful sight. Fantastic backdrop.
Bilala loves the short game. Can he convert for birdie and maybe start righting the wrongs of the round so far? Left hand low. It's been good from this distance.
That will bring a smile to his face. Birdie gets back to 4 over par. Spoken a lot about how fantastic Kenyan athletes are in the world athletic stage. You see them win Olympic Games, World Championships. And agrees there's a lot of talent out in Kenya on the golf course as well, and I'm sure through this championship we'll see many of the Kenyans come to the fore. Christian Marce for what in the end is an easy birdie. Gets it back to 2 under par.
Well, that should calm Mum down in the stands.
Let's hope Mum's heart rate will come down slightly.
Chatora now finishing off for par. Always a good par here on the 12th. Well done. Mere formality for the young Zimbabwean. To the 10th now. After a disappointing 9th hole, Van der Merwe, he's got a great angle in. Everything slanting from right to left, and he loves playing a draw Been watching him on the range earlier this week. This suits his eye. Can he capitalise here? Just a little bit short, a little bit right.
Daniel Bennett is going to wait for his turn. Oh, will that hold on? You don't want to leave it short here.
Away it goes. Away it goes. Love to see how quick he played there. He beat us all to that shot. Ready golf. We love seeing that all around the world. Pace of play, speeding up the great game.
See, there's 3 golf balls on the green there. Daniel Bennett setting himself up with a birdie opportunity. Seen those RNA balls all across the golf course. Of course, they want to grow the game on the African continent and have gathered a number of ambassadors from across the world. And one of them joins us now in the commentary booth. Brian Abana, good afternoon.
OG Mulefi, how good to be here. I mean, the aircon is really working. I mean, both yourself and George need to get out on the course and experience the heat. That there's some absolute heat going on the course in terms of the play, but it is boiling out there.
I don't think I've seen you this year, have I?
Happy 2024 then.
Happy 2024, buddy. Good to see you. Tell us your involvement with the RNA and in terms of being an ambassador. I mean, you're all about development in sport, and you came through the ranks in rugby, and you know just how much at this level you really do need the assistance.
So, OG, firstly, massive honor and privilege to be speaking to the RNA and their development association and understanding, how they're going to grow the game of golf globally. I think for me, I've been very fortunate that golf has been a significant impact in my life and in the game of rugby. The socialization aspect, the discipline, the fun that we've had. I actually joked to George a few hours ago that rugby potentially got in the way of our golf tour in 2015 at the Rugby World Cup and potentially led to that initial loss against Japan. Jokes aside. But golf has been an absolutely brilliant game, and you look at the opportunity that the RNA have now put forward in this Africa Amateur Championship, developing the game throughout the world, getting people loving the game, understanding the different formats of the game, the ease of getting into the game, and just the absolute brilliance of being able to shout on a global stage with some incredible ambassadors. Kevin Peterson's got a great place just up the road here that he loves coming down to. Niall Horan, on a stage in front of millions of people and just advocating for how incredible this game of golf is, the benefits, the health aspects, the discipline that you get to. For me as a rugby player, the ability to challenge yourself each and every time you hit a golf ball is very much like life, continually wanting to be better. So a massive privilege, and resonating with how the benefits of golf are really good for you. And I mean, it's a beautiful game to play, particularly if you get courses like this around the world and how incredible it is.
Well, as a New Zealander, I'm a bit gutted the South African team didn't play more golf in 2023. But great to have you involved, Brian. And for those that may not know, he's a 124 Test cap Springbok, 67 Test tries to his name as Fakori looks to find the fairway here on 14 and does so nicely for this. Oh, hold on. It might have disappeared, but Brian, we talked earlier, you mentioned being a young boy at the 1995 Rugby World Cup and how that inspired you to play rugby. Do you think people watching the Africa Amateur and even playing it can inspire them to greater heights in the game of golf?
I was fortunate enough, Georgie, to be on the first tee with the first 3 ball that went off, and there's an interesting moment there where one player was given the opportunity to get on the biggest stage, and the nerves and everything that comes with that, and the learning curve that meant for that gentleman, and all those emotions, the adrenaline pumping. I think for me, my journey, very much like these guys and the ladies playing, was really about understanding there's a route to go. I was very amateur. My first ever game of rugby was for the under 14 G side of the That
You played G side?
OG Malefi, I played for the G team. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7th Bets, we scrum off in King Edward VII.
That's so hard to believe.
I promise you. I did immediately go to the B side the next week, scored 2 tries on debut, which obviously was good for the rest of it. But again, the amateur role, for me, I didn't play any representative age group level rugby for South Africa. And didn't play SA schools, didn't play SA under 19, but continued forging my way, and that inspiration of what 95 meant for me to be able to continue fighting, believing, working and dreaming. And a very similar opportunity for all these incredible golfers that get on one of the most incredible golf courses in the world, the opportunity to test themselves, and how steely their resolve is to come out best, with the accolade of potentially getting opportunity to go play at the Open and the AIG Women's Open. I mean, that is as big as possible.
It sure is, that's right. They get a ticket to the 152nd Open at Troon, and then they can go to final qualifying for the women's and maybe join them there. So there's opportunities aplenty as, well, 3 balls are on the 12th green. That's a rare sight for today.
We did mention this is probably the most accessible pin you'll see this week at the top. So anytime you can get on the short stuff, you certainly do. You mentioned, Brian, we are blessed, I guess, in South Africa with like so many fantastic golf courses to be able for all the other players to actually make their way down here and play in what is arguably one of the best we have in our country. Also a massive privilege, and I guess we have to thank Mr. Johan Rupert, the team at Leopard Creek, and just what the RNA have been able to afford these guys.
What an absolute privilege and honor. You look at this course, you look at that site, on the Kruger, Crocodile River. It's insane. And for these players that would never have got the opportunity to test their ability against some of the best on the African continent, to be afforded that by, Leopard Creek, Mr. Johan Rupert and the RNA is absolutely brilliant. And hopefully, like we've seen in rugby, the likes of a Fiji, a Japan, a Portugal, that have been able to test themselves against the best in the world and gone on to the biggest stage and done some absolutely brilliant things. And hopefully the very rough diamonds that we're seeing out on the course tonight can really forge into some pure diamonds that become global superstars.
As we see there, Alton van der Merwe walking off with a par.
Henny's down there on the 14th, and this ball has crept into the bunker, Henny.
It has. It's lying nicely. Obviously, he's quite close to the face, but it's such a short little shot. The pin's at the front-ish, which makes it tough. You've just got to play for the meat of the green here if you can. Water avoidance is key. This is all about just playing for safety, playing the percentage shot.
Yeah, one of the hardest shots in the game. A bunker from this distance. So hard to gauge that. And the water could be in play as his head goes down. Oh, wow. Little layup. He's fortunately not caught it that well.
Yeah, that was one of those happy accidents. A nice layup there. Fakori got lucky actually, not ball sort of stayed just up on that little bit of rough, didn't bumble into the bunker. And so he stayed up on top. It's down the breeze and he's coming from the rough, and with that front pin, he's got to throw this all the way up.
Oh no. And we see the flag as well now. It seems like the wind is slightly picked up there, Henny.
Yeah, it's kind of gusty, I would describe it as. One moment it's really calm, and now, right now, it's just gusting. And that can happen to you when you're right over your shot, like it just did to Fakori there. So at the moment it's gusting. But for Mars off the fairway, he can generate some spin.
Yeah, chuck it at the back foot. Hit down on it. Bounce, bounce and stop. Slightly long is the safe option. And he's done just that.
Your golf journey has been certainly interesting, Brian. Played with Tiger Woods. I
had to throw that in. Jumped on Hideki Matsuyama, almost broke his back, and then 2 years later wins the Masters. So if there are any professional golfers out on on any of the tours, whether in South Africa or around the world, and potentially want to have an opportunity to try win the Masters,
just ask Brian Abana to jump on your back,
or the Claret Jug, I'm happy to jump on your back and
force an injury and then recover to win. I love it. How is your golf game, Brian? I guess now you're retired, you might be playing a little bit more.
So, I mean, I have to be very transparent and honest, given the fact that Oji Molefe is sitting next to me and was at a golf weekend that we had with Supersport and BCX in November last year, and was commenting on Skulk Britz's commentary about my 4 empty sleeves of balls that were in my cart. Oji, you went all out on that one, didn't you? Hey?
How did you hear that?
News travels fast, Oji. My friends that were watching live couldn't send me that video commentary of yours as quickly as they did.
But did they send you the one on the 18th where you hit a blind of an approach shot and I gave him a song and a dance about it? Did they send you that video?
No, my kids sent me that saying, "Oh, Daddy, you're not as bad a golfer as everyone else says you are." But yeah, my golf's not great, George. I mean, you did a bit of caddying for me this morning on the par 3. Yeah, I've been very sporadic. You know, when you're in corporate and you have to put in leave days, it becomes a little bit difficult to justify 6 hours on the golf course, particularly when you have a wife and 2 kids.
Well, there's many different formats of the game nowadays, that's for sure. It can be quick and easy, like the par 3 course we played here this morning, and then right now for Corey looking to tidy up after what was certainly a big error finding that water. As we pop to the 11th, Van der Merwe, he's on a bit of a roller coaster, needs to just settle things down, and looks like he's doing so by laying up on the short par 4.
Member of the Ernie Elson Fan Court Foundation. It's produced quite a number of great players, the likes of Brendan Grace, Louis Oosthuizen, who won the Daniel here in December. So Alton coming out of a great foundation down in George, South Africa.
And you've also got Hannes van Niekerk in town this week. You know, that's been instrumental in making sure that foundation has continued blossoming, and you know, the likes of Brandon, Louis, that are key instrumental inspirations, that these new youngsters coming through understand that there is opportunities to succeed. And with the Ernie Els Foundation on the Sunshine Tour, the foundations that really give back to the game, and look at what the RNA is investing in Africa as a continent and how special that is. And hopefully these youngsters will continue putting in the hard work to go on and achieve greatness and become their own inspiration to a new generation. OG.
How important are role models, Brian? I mean, you remember going to watch that 95 World Cup and seeing all the stars there, Joost, Francois, and everyone that was there, Chester Williams. What did that do for you, and trying to sort of put yourself in a place where you're like, that's where I want to be? And for these guys to know that the likes of Louis and Charles have won here, and they're all coming from this continent, that it is possible for them.
Role models are incredibly important, and I think the biggest thing is to instill a sense of hope. You look at the small percentages that do go on and become, go to Q school, get their cards, get on a tour, win tournaments, win majors. It's a very small percentage, but the fact that you have role models, and 95 was a massive watershed moment in my life, the ability to understand the power that sport has to change my life. And you fast forward 12 years later, I'm winning a World Cup on a bus tour in South Africa, and seeing African youngsters in the Eastern Cape running barefoot behind the bus, yes, to get a glimpse of the heroes, get a glimpse of that trophy, but get a glimpse of hope. And fast forward another 12 years, you have the absolutely incredible Sia Khaleesi lifting the World Cup trophy in Japan 2019. They get to do that and back it up in 2023. And what this generation of rugby players has now done is we've seen the most transformative Springbok team go on and give hope to so many, and true hope.
Christian Maas for birdie. Leaves that short. Will not be happy with that. It was a really good chance. He's just fighting through his round at the moment. Still managing to be 2 under for the day. So if his bad day is 2 under, I'm sure he'll be right as rain throughout the week. Cody now. A bogey putt. These are the ones you need to keep your championship on track. After watching Christian Maas's putt, this should just ease in outside the right edge. Big momentum putt here for Fakori. And he sneaks it in, gets away with it.
And Mary Fakori, 2 over par. I feel he let one go there. Of course, that tee shot, so important to keep it down the left-hand side. That 14th fairway slopes from left to right, so sneaking into the bunker, hurting him there. It's Matthew Bramford leading the way, 7 under par with the opening 65 here at the Africa Amateur Championship. Brian, I did say to George I won't reference the 23 Rugby World Cup final because I know he's still hurting from the Box winning that over the All Blacks.
No. They 1,582 of being world champions. Actually, they couldn't stop rubbing it in post 2015. So any opportunity we get, we can bask in that glory, right? Surely.
Okay, there you go, Georgie.
Cheers, boys. A pleasure to be here in Africa. You know, you guys are really looking after me. Let's not mention the red cards.
Which one? We didn't get any, right?
Oh, no, you should have.
Okay, cool, sorry.
Just
no,
our captain.
Just confirming we didn't. 1 point wins, aren't we? That's how we go, Georgie.
Well, to be fair, 1 point wins throughout all the knockout games is pretty impressive. So credit where credit's due. As Bennett, the young gun, looks to dial one in here on 11.
Leaving himself a full shot in. Certainly making sure you don't pitch on that front side of the green because it will spin all the way back to almost where he is about. So got himself a tricky downhill putt coming up. That's Daniel Bennett.
Brian, you'd almost be tempted to jump in that water by the sounds of the heat out there.
No, I've actually asked for a bucket of ice because I don't think that water is cold enough to cool us down at the minute. It is absolutely sweltering out there, George. And I mean, your aircon that you've got going in the comms box is a delightful reprieve that I haven't been able to have for the better part of the day.
I'm starting to heat up even with the aircon. It's slowly seeping through. It's impressive heat as we look out to the Kruger. Look at that. Look at that. Can't see too much out there at the moment. But wow, it's certainly worth a visit, and make sure you do get out on a safari if you are here. Lucky enough to nearly see all of the big five a few days ago. Of all animals though, I haven't seen a leopard at Leopard Creek.
That is my spirit animal. There's actually I'm not quite sure you saw that social media clip doing the rounds a couple of years ago.
I saw that. Would you say that's... Yeah, no.
So there were a couple of Springboks that played Leopard Creek when we played the All Blacks in Mbombela two years ago. And there was an incredible clip of Billy LaRue putting his tee shot down, putting his marker in the ground, and literally the sound of a leopard in the bush to his right. And they all jumped in the car and went sped off. So it's real in Africa. It's even realer at Leopard Creek.
Wow. The first tees weren't hard enough. That would top it off.
Birdie putt. Glances past for El Hadi. Daniel Bennett. He's got that 3-footer for par.
Daniel Bennett, a man that we can expect to go low at some point this week, no doubt about it. He shot a casual 34 under par at the Nomad South Africa under-19s, won by a casual record of 21 strokes. 34 under. Half of his score and he still would have won by 4 shots, so...
Incredible.
That is just unbelievable, and hopefully he can produce some of that magic this week because it would be amazing to watch. 62, 61, 68 and 63. Imagine 68 being your bad round of the week.
I mean, that sounds like me on the first 9, so I'd take that any day of the week, Georgie.
Alton van der Merwe. You get the sense if there's ever a time for a birdie, it's right now. He's had a tough couple of holes, and this would really get him back on track and excited for this back 9. Lovely stroke. Well done, son.
Nice.
Birdie time for van der Merwe.
What's your favorite course out here, Brian?
Yeah, you're going to struggle to beat, and I'm not just saying it because I am here, but Leopard Creek is just special. Been fortunate enough to have played here a few times. I've lost a lot of balls in these woods and the rough, and you definitely don't go in to look for them. But got to play on the par 3 for the first time last year, and I think the setup, what Johan Rupert and the Leopard Creek Association have managed to build here is really special. Fan court links where the data was last week. OG, that I think Skalk Brits finished on second on the leaderboard there.
Yeah.
It was a massive reprieve from finishing bottom of the table with me at the Super Sports Shootout last November.
Playing with Sunshine Tour professional Kyle Barker. They finished second in the better ball competition. That's Skalk Brits, also a World Cup winner with the Springboks back in 2019.
Yeah, the setup here at Leopard Creek is certainly amazing. To have a look at that par 3 course and the range as well. You've got 3 positions, so no matter what the wind is, you can enjoy the range. So they have not missed a beat here at Leopard Creek.
And we're very fortunate, as OG's mentioned a number of times in the program already. South Africa's got some incredible golf courses up north, down south, the Garden Route. We really are incredibly fortunate. The Fancourt Links is one of the most incredible courses in the world to actually get to be on. I really enjoy the Met down in Cape Town and DHL Stadium, a nice little 9-holer that's challenging without being too difficult. And when the wind blows, you sort of just get to Sea Point and get to Giovanni's to have a bit of a pizza, OG.
Listen, probably one of the most underrated golf courses at Met. So if you do happen to make your way out to the African continent, go down to Cape Town and go play Metropolitan. Unbelievable greens they've got down there.
And then also been very fortunate enough to get on some great golf courses around the world. I had the fortune and privilege of playing St Andrews after the 150th Open, with the championship tees, which didn't bode well for me, unfortunately. But it was a great experience, and the memories are all we have, George.
That's right. Buchanan, who just played a lovely wedge shot, he's got a bit of Scottish in him, so he's enjoyed a few rounds there. But yeah, the memories that are created at the home of golf are simply stunning. And you also got it on a very good day as well, didn't you, Brian?
It was, 2021, the Autumn Nation Series happening, South Africa played against Scotland, and myself and the co-founder of my fintech company, Dion Nobriga, was my university roommate. We managed to win the lottery ticket, got in an early morning slot just ahead of the Springbok rugby players, because they'd pulled a few strings to be able to get on there. But it was a peachy 17 degrees, no cloud in the sky.
Wow.
And 13th of November, it's unheard of. So that was pretty special, and you actually went good that round. But the courses up north are also spectacular. Obviously, it's difficult when it's wet and cold, which is most of the year. But when the days are glorious and the nights are long, you can almost get in 72 holes up in the UK. I know OG is definitely going to test that out at some point in the next 5 years.
Listen, after Christian Mars told myself and Georgie that he played over 50 times in 2 weeks here at Leopard Creek, I think I could do 72 in one day.
Yeah, no worries. Easy as. Jack Buchanan, even par for the day. I don't think my chicken legs could get me around 72 anymore. Start breaking down slowly. About the same size legs as this guy.
It's on days like this when I miss Tony Johnston. He'd be reveling about the wildlife, the bird life around the Kruger. Going into the park with his camera to see what he can come up with. As we head back to the par 3 12th.
Yeah, we've seen some cross-country golf on the 12th today, and we were mentioning earlier that it's one of the easier pins, 11 on 6 from the right, so the bunkers shouldn't really be in play, and it's a chance to stick one in tight. But what a view this is, looking over Kruger Park. It's at one of the high points of the golf course, 15th tee up behind Van der Merwe there, but we're due to see a good one on this hole.
At right hand side, very friendly pin today at 12, playing 132 yards.
Such a narrow green, which will come into play when the pins change position. but here it's a green light.
Been working on retaining the height on his swing, has Alton van der Merwe in the last couple of weeks. Oh, his coaches will be cleaning after that one. Fantastic approach.
Alton was telling me he used to always play Tiger Woods on the PlayStation. That's where it helped him form the love of the game. Every time he'd be Tiger, and I guess it gets you to learn the course a little bit as well when you're playing some of those big ones, as Bennett looks to match him. Brian Habana, after this shot lands, I want you to tell me who your golf inspiration is, who your favourite players were, as he's also joined him up close.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of can't, I was in the era where Tiger was on song from the outset, and an incredible inspiration, and how he just dominated the sport was incredible as a professional athlete. And for us, I was very fortunate. George Ernie Els actually presented my very first Springbok jersey back in England in 2004, and that was a pretty special moment. Ernie's got a massive love for the game of rugby, and particularly for the Springboks. He's flown all over the world.
Any that tee box brought forward at 15 allows these guys to really cut that corner. Great tee shots from him.
Great tee shot, really good opportunity here. This is down the breeze. The breeze is funneling all the way to a front pin. That's stunning.
For a par 5, it looked like he had quite a short wedge in hand, so that wind is certainly playing a part.
Yeah, it's pumping down. It's essentially, like I said, funnel is the best word to describe it, down this hole, and it's all downhill as well. So the guys, it's wide fairway, so the guys off the tee can really open their shoulders up.
Balala, can he provide some magic? Launching it high with the wind behind him. Safely on the green, which, to be fair, is normally pretty good on this hole. So much water you can see, but with this left pin, it's more of a bailout option today. And what an angle Christian Maas has, Henny.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, George. He is over on the middle right-hand side of the fairway. So it is the perfect angle over this bunker to attack this pin.
Lovely shot. Chance for eagle. Can Christian Maas convert? Well, Abdul Balala is a busy 25-year-old. The Kenyan has a young family, 2 businesses to run. Let's chase his dreams and see what he's up to.
Hi, I'm Adel Balala. I'm 25 years old from Kenya. We've had the Asia Pacific, they have the amateur. We've never had the African amateur. For countries like Kenya, we look at RNA like our fathers of golf. Golf in my country is very demystified. We have a few good players, and we have a few legendary players as well, some which have competed in the DP World Tour and the Challenge Tour back in the days. We're working towards with the RNA to demystify golf across the country. I started playing golf at about 2 years old. My father introduced me to it. I fell in love with it when I started playing competitively, internationally. It's a very competitive game, and it has no master. And this is why I fall in love with it. It's the competitiveness that never stops, week in, week out. I'm actually a very good football player. That was my first love, was football. And outside the golf course, I do logistics. I have a business of my own, and I also run an ISP, which is an internet service provider. Golf in Kenya is not a great hobby to have because it doesn't pay as much. So good players like me, after education, are forced to find a job to make a living. It's been a long journey for me, especially in the elite amateur level, and to get my first win at the African amateur will be so significant because I'll be giving hope not only to the people around me but to all Kenyan golfers who are aspiring to reach great heights. Experience helps me a lot. I've been playing for a very long time, and other than that, I'd say my short game, I'm a magician with the wedges. But on this course, I'd say my mental strength is what's going to get me through the 4 rounds. Tiger Woods definitely is the most influential player for all of us, but primarily I would say most of the Kenyan players who have done well is Greg Snow and Dismas Indiza. I've played Leopard Creek a few times. Absolutely amazing. I won't even go further than that. There's nothing much I could say about it. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely the best destination I've played ever.
Well, Adel Balala certainly is a busy 25-year-old. We got the chance to sit down with him, and he's a real character, and it's been great to meet some of these young players from Africa. So many different stories, and one story we've loved getting to know is that of Brian Habana, the new RNA Development Ambassador. Brian, thank you so much for coming in and sharing some of your stories, some of your love of golf. It's great to have you on board here this week, and we really hope you enjoy the occasion.
Yeah, thanks, George. Really looking forward to seeing how these absolute gems go on and use this opportunity to capitalize on it. Talk about how amazing the benefits of golf is, and like I said, I play a lot of golf, so there's a lot of shots to see how much I enjoy the game on a regular occurrence. But it's brilliant to see what the RNA are doing across the world, getting more people to love a game that has had a great impact for so many of us. So might have to come frequent this air-conditioned commentary box a few times over the next couple of days if you gents don't mind.
Listen, I would never say no to you, Brian, so anytime you want to pop in, do so over the next 4 days, buddy.
I was actually looking forward to getting rid of him, to be honest, OG. Thank you very much, Brian. Well done.
Thanks, Brian. Good to see you, buddy.
Cheers, team. All the best.
Yeah, Brian did have to go and mention that nice air-conditioned comms box that you're in. I've been trying really hard to not think about that while I'm out here on the golf course.
Yeah, Henny, don't go jumping in that pond right next to you here on the exciting 15th.
I will try my hardest not to become a hippo and try and cool myself down.
Now, Henny, is it just me, or does this part of the golf course open up and start looking a little bit like TPC Sawgrass, the par 5 15th here and into what would be the 17th at Sawgrass?
Oh, I love that. What a comparison. Yeah, very much so. You've got 16 that you can see the green just across from here at 15. And it's definitely a cooler part of the golf course. But can Mars maintain his cool here? This is going to bank off the right-hand side a little bit. There's a slope coming in from the bunker.
Oh, agonisingly close for Mas. What a moment that would have been for his week. He'll have to settle for birdie. Not often you're disappointed with a tap-in birdie.
Absolutely have to take advantage of this shortened hole for these guys this week. For the members, of course, they'll know this to be quite long, especially for the pros playing it off the top back tee box, but that's not in use for safety reasons this week. So giving these guys a golden opportunity to walk off with an eagle at 15. So Mas agonizingly miss his chance. Can Fakori get back to level par if he sinks this?
This is a really tough read where this pin is. It's right in the middle of two slopes, so you can almost make it a right to left or a left to righter, depending on which you fancy. It's on the same line as Balala's, so he's got a bit of a read. Beautifully done.
He's nailed it straight in the middle. That is a huge moment for Fakori. That must make you feel seriously good on the way home. Bennett now to try and feel equally as good, OG.
This to get into red numbers for Daniel. Oh, can you see how quick that is? Really have to start it on line. Back to the 15th. Adel Balala for birdie. Oh no. You really do feel like you've given one away if you get off the 15th green with a par, and he knows it.
We saw a great tee shot earlier from Van der Merwe. Bennett was unable to cash in. Can Van der Merwe do the opposite? And oh, looked like he walked that in, but unfortunately catches the lip. Poor roller coaster of a day.
Absolutely. He knows he should be a couple under par at this stage. Alton van der Merwe. Wow. Look at the locals basking in the sun. Lunchtime for the hippos at the Kruger. If you were to think of a golfer as part of the animals at the Kruger, Georgie, what would you call a hippo?
Well, let's be honest. The hippo's probably not a golfer you want to be playing with. You know, they're often late to their tee time. You know, probably rock up with a takeaway bag of McDonald's from the drive-thru, smelling, you know, bad breath. You know, probably the golf polo's way too small for them. You're sitting on the first tee with a teapot. But once you actually get them on course, it's hard to keep them on the course. A few WDs, a few first reserves have had to come in. But, you know, whether it's the halfway hut or the water hazard, they certainly get distracted and probably ruin your four ball, I reckon. But they'd be a fun animal, no doubts about it. They're a mate you always want to invite to the party, but you know what you get when they're coming.
Sounds like a few of my friends. I won't say name, at the fear of never being invited back to golf again. I look back at the 16th, probably the most exposed part of the golf course here at Leopard Creek. Ranks as Henny 16 is like the second toughest hole for the members here, the stroke 2. What do the guys have coming up here at the par 3?
Usually with a par 3 like this, OG, you're looking at the pin and you're going, yeah, if I'm pin high right or pin high left, I'm happy. Whereas here, because it cuts in where that bunker is, pin high right, you're still in a watery grave. Pin high left, and you're in that bunker or in that scruff with a bit of a tricky chip. So yeah, it's brutal. It's tight. And you've got that wind that we've been mentioning, that gusty wind whipping across from the right-hand side. It's very exposed here.
I guess the only good thing about the hole today that might be in their favour is that the pin is the front left, which should hopefully keep them away from the water. And
yeah, I think the miss is short left. Or long on line. I think that's probably the two that you're looking at. Obviously long on line would be ideal, giving you a putt back down the hill for birdie, but I don't think you're thinking birdie when you're standing on the tee box. You're thinking, if I can get out of here with par, I will sprint to 17T.
yeah, I saw a lot of 7-irons hit here in the earlier practice rounds. Has to be a flush one, no doubt about it, for Corey, coming off the back of eagle. Asking it to go. And it's the right club.
Ah, that's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, I don't think he could have run up and placed his ball any better. That's absolutely perfect. And actually, for his playing partners, I know this might seem like a silly thing, but it's so good to see a nice shot hit ahead of you. You get a nice example of what to do. If he did it in the water, you're thinking, oh no, that's all I can see now.
Christian Maas birdied the last. Can he continue his momentum? And he has been scared of the water ever so slightly, but that's still fine.
From a body language point of view, Henny, how has Christian been looking these last couple of holes?
Exceptionally, he's a very confident, calm young man, I would say. There's a tinge of frustration where he hasn't taken advantage of some of the birdie opportunities or even eagle opportunities as we saw on the last. I think he feels like he can score a little bit better, but that's exactly the position that you want to be in on day one. If you can leave this golf course unscathed, thinking, I can score a little better, you're absolutely golden. And interestingly, here on the back of 16 to the left, there's a leaderboard. So for the first time since I've joined these players in the back nine, they're going to be able to see what position they're in. So I'm going to be watching like a hawk his body language after he sees that leaderboard.
Great, let's head over to 13, Alton van der Merwe. From that dangerous right-hand side there, Georgie.
Yeah, the rough's so tough to get a read on. Sometimes it'll be sitting up, sometimes it'll be low as he asks it to come back to the left. And it's just trickled into the bunker, which is a daunting shot as it's on a slight downhill. unlucky miss, but it just shows how important it is to find the fairway on 13 to give yourself the best chance.
To the shortish par 4 14th. Burnand for birdie. Coming up just slightly shy. Would have taken him to 4th spot on his own. It'll be interesting to see how physically these guys will be after 4 days. If you're not quite used to playing with a push trolley, just adds that extra bit to think about. Daniel Bennett in prime position here at 13.
Looks like he's trying to play a big high mighty fade to get it to sit still. And he's just going to trickle into this back right hand bowl, which will capture a lot of balls. And he's going to have a tough little shot into the green and up the hill from there. At least he's dry, but all the same he can be relatively aggressive up the hill, but he'll be disappointed and is disappointed.
Knows that a good chance to set himself up to possibly get an eagle.
We've seen the quality of Christian's short game before. He loves this little chip shot where he just descends the club head on the ball, pops it up. This is going to break hard off his left-hand side down the hill.
Oh dear. The Bermuda grass has just caught his club and caught it very sharp. As you can see by the mowing strip that he was right into the grain there.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an unfortunate lie, I guess, that he had in terms of that mow strip. But I don't think he would have had any question marks on playing that shot. Obviously, he's gone back to his bag. He's got another different wedge just to switch things up a little bit. But I think in his mind, there's no doubt that it's a chip, it's not a putt.
Yeah, I just thought he had quite an open club face and a lofted club rather than dropping it on the back foot and just punching it on the head when you're into the grain. But
yeah, and I think that's sometimes where like confidence can, you know, as I said, he does have a great short game. He knows he's got a great short game. He would have approached that shot not even thinking about that outcome. And that's where you see, you know, sometimes it's that fine balance between thinking about what's the worst thing that can happen here. Let's move across to Balala though. He's on a very similar line. This is going to be quick and down the hill, breaking from his left-hand side.
yeah, big putt here. This would certainly be a bonus birdie on a very challenging hole. A little bobble off the sand early. Hopefully that hasn't slowed it down, and it certainly hasn't. What a two on the beautiful 16th. Balala goes bang.
Ah, the light after missing that birdie at the previous hole. Goes on and gets the more unlikely one at 16.
Yeah, Miles with the chip again, putting it to about 2 feet. That's just going to be a tap in for him. For Corey, as Miles taps in, is eyeing up his birdie opportunity. Meanwhile, Balala walking off the green with a big smile as he strides up towards the leaderboard.
He's a confident kid, no doubt about it. And that will do him the world of confidence. What a birdie too.
Yeah, his attitude's really inspiring. He's had his fair share of troubles. It hasn't affected him whatsoever. So he takes a nice, well-deserved rest in a seat under a tree as Fakori tries to match him with his birdie opportunity back up the hill. This is very, very makeable.
Wow.
Lovely putt that is for Corey. Walks off with a wonderful birdie at 16. Eagle birdie, he goes. Certainly putting on a good finish to his opening round in the Africa Amateur Championship. And you can see that leaderboard that Henny was talking about, and I think a moment ago you would have seen Christian Maas staring it down, knowing very well that he's falling back with 2 holes to play. Look to get a strong finish.
What a 15-20 minutes for Fakori. The 18th hole. What a beautiful spot that is. Now here we go with a very open club face. Van der Merwe, such a tough shot. Just over that bunker, the green slopes towards the pin, so he decided to try and carry that, but almost impossible to try and get some bite on that ball. So he's done all right, but frustration levels will be slowly creeping up.
This is match number 20. Innocent Mukumba, Jack Buchanan as Baomi. It's amazing how that little creek you don't think really comes into play here at 14. But the tee shot simply critical if you are to give yourself a chance for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a tricky little hole. Short par 4. Buchanan now. He's 19 years of age. Actually has some family ties to Scotland. Ancestors built Buchanan Castle back in the day, so his great-grandfather is Scottish. He mentioned that the one he wants to win is the Open. As his birdie putt rolls. If things go well from this week, he might have that chance to play in the 152nd at Royal Troon.
He must be licking his lips. Can you imagine?
Very confident young kid. Dreams big, and you get the sense if he can accomplish half of what he wants to, it'll be an amazing career. So an exciting player to watch, no doubt. Imagine that. 1 week you're playing in Africa at Leopard Creek, and then you find out you can play at the Open Championship at Royal Troon. That would just be huge for any golfer.
Absolutely. You also get to play in the Tournament of Champions on the Sunshine Tour, presented by Attack. And I heard the other day that there might be a spot as well, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, to even play in the Zimbabwe Open. So Zim Open coming up in not too long from now, in about a couple of months, so that might just happen as well. Well, the tournament director is down here, Michael, part of the rules officials for the week.
Yeah, they certainly do get a handful of exemptions. We mentioned the Open. They also go to the Amateur Championship, which is a massive, massive occasion. Christo Lamprecht is the defending champion, so South Africa have had some great success. As Bennett has some of his own success, a birdie putt after a good up and down. 3 of the last 6 champions of the amateur have been South Africans, so huge opportunity there. And then also obviously the Alfred Dunhill Championship and Waterfall City Tournament of Champions, so plenty to play for this week in Africa.
Fakori's tee shot at 17. Lots of space on the left, but you don't want to tuck it down there. Oh.
Oh dear, don't go in there. Just leave that one. A donation to Leopard Creek. Unfortunate after being on a really hot little run there.
Bogey, eagle, birdie. Will do well to walk off with a par here at 17. Let's go back to 15, the par 5. Shatora. Slick birdie putt coming for him.
Had a great 2023 to Chatora. 10 top 10 finishes in Wagga events, including 3 wins, so he'll get it hot running at some point.
Christian Maas Don't think the bunkers are in play for him. Keep it straight, avoid the left-hand side. That's all the trouble is. It seems he has pushed it out right, though. Oh, no. I wouldn't bother going to look for those 2 tee shots. Oh, one of the best finishing holes in golf as you overlook the 18th here at Leopard Creek in the opening round of the Africa Amateur Championship. Matthew Bramford, you would think he played a different golf course this morning himself, and Ivan Verster, a 65 and a 66 respectively. Christian Maas battling his way 2 under through 16, and he's in trouble at the 17th. Milkabana currently 1 under. Change of weapon for Christian, going with a fairway wood this time.
What a bizarre day he's having. One of the more colourful scorecards out there. 4 bogeys, 6 birdies. So we thought he had settled down, but unfortunately the birdies haven't been as prevalent. Oh, there we go. They're the big guys. You know, if you're a rules official, that's not who you want playing on your golf course.
Don't think you want them walking on a green there. Amel Cabana is for birdie at 18. Get it to 2 under par. It'll be in a tie for 3rd place after his opening round. Started online as he got the... Oh! Looked good.
Great effort there. He'd go on to tap that in as we once again see the main leaderboard. Feels like a long time ago since Matthew Bramford shot 65. Can anyone match him?
To the par 4, 14th hole. Alton van der Merwe out with a long iron. It's the smart play, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Huge sloping fairway. A lot of people normally hug the left, but then there's a couple of pot bunkers which you can't see from this camera angle. Oh no. Oh, what have we got here? Christian, the confidence is through the roofs. Someone drag him out. We need him for the rest of the week.
That's his manager there, helping to look for his golf ball.
Is that Mum in the background there as well?
Mum also.
She must love her son if that is.
Joining Nico van Rensburg in the search.
Oh no. Oh, they found something.
I hope so. But also just how tough would it be to hack it out of them?
Is that microphone that, yeah?
Oh wow. They found the incorrect golf
Doesn't
ball
like
there.
it. Nah, not yellow balls aren't for me, and fair enough.
You're an Emmy, you can collect for sure.
Now, who's on this camera? I want to make sure that's on Zoom. I need you out of there as well.
Bruce is out there.
Oh.
He's not taking chances.
We mentioned he's played over 50 rounds here. He must know every corner of this course, so we'll trust Christian Maas on this occasion.
Fast running out of time, though, to find his golf ball. Provisional is in play.
While they're searching, let's go to the par 3 16th. We saw some highlights here not long ago. Damani hanging off that one, and he's got away with it. He'll be breathing easy now.
He's flirting. Don't want any part of that water on the right hand side.
And it looks like Christian Maas has given up the fight. He's looking to move back to his provisional ball in the middle of the fairway. Henny, you were down there watching all this unfold. I'm surprised not to see you in there helping Christian Maas. What was going on?
I think my exact words were, "I'm so sorry, but in no world am I getting into that rough." I'm far too terrified. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a catastrophe down here on 17. 2 left, 1 right. And in terms of the 2 left, well, Fakori is in the middle of the bush. I am tentatively standing by, waiting to see.
It seems like a group that are following each other into trouble or into the good stuff. Everyone's all over the show a little bit here today, Henny, I feel.
Yeah, it's a surprise because there's nothing specifically challenging about 17T that you'd think, oh my goodness me. Mars, meanwhile, as Fakori's figuring that out, pulled a club, going for it, pins on the right-hand side.
Needs to catch that slope. Oh, that's disappointing. There's a ridge in the middle of the screen, if you can't quite see it there, which feeds it down to this pin. As well, Fakori is trying his best to find the right angle for a drop. It's going to be pretty tough because if you look to where the pin is and come back on a line, you're going to go further into the bush from what I'm seeing. So great confidence by everyone, spectators, rules officials, everyone on this group is just casual as you like. Not worried about the black numbers.
Certainly not.
No, he's going to play the ball, try and play the ball.
Oh, yeah. A rules official there, David, saying he's going to play it. That's
Yes.
interesting, Henny.
Yeah, exactly. I'm standing here with the rules official, and he didn't have many great options, as we were saying. So he's going to try and play it, and try and chip it out. He does have a line.
One of those balls that you just kind of hope you don't find after a while. Stop looking too hard.
I guess the only danger is that he was 5 in the fairway, so you'd think that this is better than playing a 6, just trying to punch it out. Yeah, amazingly done. Just fairway to fringe, little cut over on the right-hand side. That's a very happy man walking out of that.
There he is. Fakori is a good personality.
Feeling triumphant after getting out, sneaking out the bushes there. To the par 3 16th. Don't want to be anywhere on the right-hand side here. Chatora staring it down. Oh, what a fantastic shot that is. Golden opportunity for a birdie coming up for Chatora. Seems like a long time ago now. Since we saw Adel Balala, he's been waiting for his playing partners.
He's been patiently waiting, sitting on his trolley wheel. Now it's his time, and this is your bread and butter little pitch in here.
Great shot, nothing scary about that pin, and he's taken the chance. A really good look at birdie there.
Using that backstop really well.
A very similar story just over on the right-hand side of the fairway here for Fakori. He'll be a little shaken after all the events from the tee and in the bush, and now this is a chance to just settle down, nestle one in close if you can.
Little sawn off follow through, dialing it in, and he's matched it, and just ever so slightly better. What a par this would be.
He clearly wasn't listening to Mr. Rupert when he said don't go in the bush.
Certainly not.
Would be an amazing par. To the par 4 14th and prime spot for Alton van der Merwe. That front right pin. Controlling your spin really key here. Maybe pitch it just beyond the flag and work it back. Just like that.
It was a very flamboyant little wedge shot. Hands going everywhere. Really natural. Chatora, the 17-year-old on 16. Can he finish off a superb shot? Jeffrey thought so. Godfrey, his playing partner, thought it was in, but not to be. What a two that would have delivered. All the same, a lovely par for Chatora. A few near misses this afternoon. Most of them that catch the lip have not dropped in for these future stars. As we go back to Van der Merwe. Sloping down towards that creek, so this is just going to slowly peel to his left. This would really help him coming home. Just hasn't been able to quite get his A game together. Still surviving at even par as one of our tournament favourites.
At 27, he's taken slightly longer to mature than most of his peers that he played with as a youngster. Set to get married soon. 27-year-old, winner of the Freddie Tate Cup, the South African Open Championship, for the leading amateur and the second oldest championship in the world. Let's go back to 17. This would be a good bogey if he sinks this. Tricky downhill, right to left up. Goes the other way.
His Eisenhower teammate, Christian Maas. Played a lot of golf together, those two players. Yeah, very up and down day for the young South African.
Van der Merwe cleans up at 14. He stays level on his round. And it's funny, Georgie, we got on here on air and we were saying the back nine is really where the birdies are, but it's proving to be tough for some. But not for this man. Fantastic birdie for Adel Balala at the 17th.
Yeah, he's created a couple of nice highlights on this homeward stretch. Really got his chin up now. McCurdy, wouldn't this be par of the day? Went on an intrepid journey off the tee shot, chipped out, and he's got to here. He's seen his partner's putt moments ago, so this would be one of those fist pump moments if he can get away with par here.
Oh, we wanted him to sink that, didn't we? Would have been a really wild but fantastic par. Will be a drop shot, unfortunately. Oh, it goes down to that initial tee shot.
What a dramatic hole this has been. They'll have to check the clock after this. I feel like we've been here for half an hour.
Christian Maas, colourful scorecard for him at the moment. Par, birdie, bogey, birdie, par, birdie, bogey. Double now at 17 for the 20-year-old.
Daniel Bennett now, a mere formality. Silky smooth putting stroke. He is at 1 under. An exciting prospect, no doubt. Just 18 years old, 306th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. As we look across the Kruger National Park, here is your leaderboard. The inaugural Africa Amateur Championship Matthew Bramford, what a morning it was. 7 under 65 for the Zimbabwean. And he is chased by a handful of South African flags. Ivan Verster, the only one to keep up with him at this stage. 6 under 66, so it's out there, but it's been hard to find this afternoon.
Christian Maas came in as the hot favourite into the tournament, ranked 13th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, level par through 17. Almedi Fakori is playing partner today, also at level par. You can see the multitude of nationalities that are represented here. Uganda, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Mauritius, Morocco, Kenya. All thanks to the wonderful work done by the RNA to expand and create opportunities on the African continent, and golden opportunities they are for these playing this inaugural Africa Amateur Championship.
It is all about opportunity, isn't it? Giving these guys a platform to know what it's like to be the best, to be on a similar stage to where all the best play week in, week out. A lot of these players wouldn't have seen a setup like this, so even walking through the gates is experience that they need. So it's a truly tremendous pathway, no doubt about it. As we go back to Burnand, an eagle putt. This would rifle him up to third outright. And he's done it. What a way to sail up the leaderboard. Jordan Burnand, certainly one to watch this week.
Oh, the iconic 18th here. Important tee shot coming up for these three here, Henny.
Yeah, and probably one of the hardest tee shots on the golf course. It's bunker avoidance from that left-hand side. Everything's downhill, but you've got these ridges going down, stepping down throughout this fairway that can throw you gleefully off the fairway into the rough under a tree. Amazing to see how the swing of Balala has changed from when he was having his troubles and he was left, missing it right, to just holding that birdie putt. The swing on the last, the swing there, it's a different guy.
Yeah, he really looks to have given that one a fairly good rip, and the result is showing. What a perfect drive. It is a simply stunning final hole, isn't it, OG? Looking down towards the clubhouse. Quite visually intimidating as well.
Oh yeah, it's all about the decision making. Once you found that fairway at 18, do you go for it? Do you lay up? But the first job is right here at the tee box.
Yeah, it's an elevated tee box, and to your point about it being intimidating, you can't really see much of the fairway. All you see ahead of you is bunker and trees. You've got to trust your line.
Fakori leaning on it. You don't want to go too close to the creek in between 18 and 9. But if he's square, yeah, that makes a huge difference being on the fairway. Really opens the door to going for it in 2. This really is the 9th hole on steroids. Such a fun, dramatic finishing hole. We saw Louis Oosthuizen birdie it last year at the Alfred Dunhill. Christian Maas. Can he finish in style and try and give him something to look forward to tomorrow?
Takes shots of the two playing partners' golf balls. Back to 16, Jordan Burnand on the run.
What a few weeks Jordan has had, OG. Winner of the South African stroke play just 2 weeks after he had pneumonia and bronchitis. So he's been on fire the last month, and then he came second at the South Africa Amateur Championship. So results have been in his favour. If his health stays good, it's even better, but he did not touch a club leading into that victory at the stroke play. until his practice round, then shot 5 under on his front 9 for the opening round. So he's got it. He's got all the goods as Ella takes on the 16th. Takes it on with style as well.
Oh, great tee shot. Jordan certainly one of the leading prospects and the great youngsters that will be in full display at the Africa Amateur. So we look back into the Kruger. '16, probably one of the most exposed parts of the golf course. Not much really protecting it. Tough tee shot because you got water down the right, bunker protecting on the left hand side. Short, probably your best option, but we've seen a couple get it really close to the pin here. You can see Simon Duploy backing off. As Henny mentioned earlier, when she was passing through there with that group of Christian Mars, that you get a burst of gust now and again at that area.
Yeah, it's all coming over their right shoulder here, and once again he's decided, I'm not quite ready. And he's even changing clubs. I think that wind's probably just picked up a level or two, and he's trying to take the water out of play. That's the great thing about this whole... Oh, hold the phone. Back he goes again. We love seeing tee shots providing mindcraft, decision making. Finally settled.
Looking forward to the result. Going left. Oh, and short.
He's probably just given up on that water and gone, I'm out of here. Let's just lay up.
You can see the way he's set up, going to cut that corner at 15. Tiger line, and should be good here for Alton van der Merwe. Position A.
What a shot. He really launched into that one. Right over the corner. And he is in prime real estate to try and have a go at eagle as we go back to Chatora.
Going for the safe shot, coming out that left and rough. You see that pin tucked on the right hand side there. Big drop off to the right if you miss the green.
We've now made it down to the fairway on 18. One of our feature groups. Henny, it's a pretty scary golf shot.
It is. You know, looking at this green, you're thinking, where can I pitch this to get this onto that top flat level? It's uphill for the first section. As soon as you get past that pin location, it's back down into more water. I think probably short left is your leave. On the right hand side you've got the bunker and everything goes a little longer and away from you. It's surrounded by water. It's, yeah, I think intimidating is probably the correct word.
Yeah, it's almost like an infinity green. And what we can't see is how steep it drops off at the back.
Yeah.
McCrory launching and looking to finish in style. He hangs on it. There is a bunker there. Oh, and there is that backstop we talked about. He has trickled into the water. He has flushed it. And unfortunately, he's gone for a swim.
Oh, Georgie, over the years, we've seen this happen so many times at 18, especially with that back pin coming off from where they are to try and get there in two. It's hard to stop. And Fakori suffers, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just saw him walking off, checking the breeze. You feel like the breeze is into and off the right-hand side when you're standing here. Balala checking the breeze as well. You've got the clubhouse there looking absolutely stunning. You've got that surrounded by trees, and it's very picturesque, but also makes it difficult to read the wind. And the wind can swirl within the clubhouse. And there's a little circle area here. There is flags back left that are saying It's into and off the left-hand side.
Balala, what can he do? He's looked away very quickly. And that is because he loves it. He must have been talking to, oh yeah, there he goes.
Oh yeah.
Talking to his mates. I'm going good here, boys. I'm back. Well done. What a shot. Henny, you mentioned I guess when other teammates hit good shots. The first player's hit a bad one. Now he's hit a good one. How's Christian Maas faring?
Again, just has that very confident body demeanour. He's a little further up. He's out the rough, but he hits it higher. He's got a much higher ball flight.
As much footwork as Scotty Scheffler as he plops one onto the front left. It's dry. Which, after the roller coaster of a day he's been on, that is not all bad.
Would be great for him to close out with a birdie, get into red numbers, regroup overnight and come back, try to do it again tomorrow. So Matthew Bramford certainly set a high mark early on. And I guess there's a bit of pressure that comes with being that favorite coming into a tournament like this. Everyone's watching you, all the interviews are you, all the players that are coming out being like, oh, that's the number one you're talking to. So lots of pressure for the young man.
Yeah, and also when someone cards a 7 under 65, it can add to that little bit of frustration as your round's not quite clicking into gear and things aren't working out because he's provided enough birdies, but he seems to just let it slip. So it's certainly been a long day for Christian. As we go to Bennett, he's going to have to shot shape one round the tree here as he looks to get in tight for eagle on 15. Oh, he's done well. If it can sit. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but it's not a bad miss there for these guys. That bunker shot should be no sweat.
I guess that's the danger with taking that tiger line at 15. You don't want to go too long because then that tree kind of comes into play. Interesting to see what sort of line does Alton van der Merwe have.
Well, we talked about Alton van der Merwe's success last week. He has jumped 30 spots on the World Amateur Golf Rankings today. They all change on a Wednesday, so he's now 166th. So maybe that bit of news will help him ride high after this round. But here he goes. This tree looks to be just slightly in the way here. Well, not slightly, clearly in the way.
Let's see, he's looking to shape it. Fade around the tree.
He has gone up, over, and safely on the dance floor. Superb shot. He really worked that ball high into the air.
Good result for Alton van der Merwe. Sets himself up for an eagle opportunity at 15.
Deploy. He was deploying every club in the bag in the last shot.
Yeah.
What's he going to do here? Lovely touch. Oh, and easy as that, easy as that. Go! He's made a birdie too. What a birdie. He had troubles off the tee and he wouldn't have dared to dream and walk off with a 2. Simon Deploy, tip of the cap.
Changed the club 3 times. I was unsure with the wind off the left there at 16. But who needs a putter if you can just chip it in? Oh, we see emergency services there on the edge of the 13th green. Hope no one's fallen into the Kruger.
I can see them just checking out the great view. A little bit of a smoko there. Fair enough. Bernand. He was my pick at the start of the week. He just seems so composed, so mature, and let's see if he can tidy up, and looks to have done just that on the 16th. What a chip-in that was from Deploy.
To the 18th.
Well, Pakuri has gone over the back.
Extra large.
Henny, we can see players have made it to the island green. How are they all faring there?
Yeah, we're just waiting on a rules official to come and help Fakori. He has a drop zone option, which is the other side of the water by the bunker as you come down. And then he can also drop it by the interview board, the other side of the water again, but he just wants to double check all his options. And I think in the meanwhile that he's waiting, Mars is going to go ahead, sizing up his putt. Pretty long one back up the hill. This is all about pace control for Mars.
Yes, they have got yellow stakes on the 9th and 18th. That protects the integrity and the toughness of the hole. So they can go back to the drop zone, but it certainly gets very tough to do back on the line from where he's gone in the water. So he's going to have to go back on the line from the pin. And it's going to be a dainty little shot. So I think you'll see most players fall back to the drop zone on those 2 holes this week.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you look at both of them, there isn't really a good option. One shorter than the other. Yeah, it's tricky. It's going to be interesting to see what he chooses.
I just get the sense there's more green to work with if you come from the drop zone rather than short-siding yourself ever so slightly.
Yeah, correct. I think it's just visually a little bit more daunting from the drop zone. So, let's see. Meanwhile, Mars.
Up, over, needs to sit. And he's got a pretty good look for birdie there on the final hole.
He needs something, doesn't he? Just the birdie to make lunch taste just a bit better for the 20-year-old. Let's go back to the 15th. The second of the par 5s on the back 9. Daniel Bennett tried to work it around the tree. Didn't fade enough, so... Oh, great touch out the bunker. Should be a formality for birdie.
Yeah, the good thing about a couple of these greenside bunkers here on 15 is they're often from a good angle to the pin. So they might look daunting, but they are relatively easy up and downs. And here's Fakori just deciding what he should do. Looks like he's heading off. What's his decision?
It's consulted with David Young, the rules official.
Now, Van der Merwe, an eagle putt. He is too, much like Christian Maas, a roller coaster of a day. A very colourful scorecard, but he's having a solid back 9. Can he spark things here with an eagle? So close. But a tap-in birdie all the same. If he can just ride things out and get to 1 or 2 under, that is certainly job done.
Back to 1 under for Alton van der Merwe.
The game of golf, it tests your emotions. 4.5, 5 hours in the heat. Things can go great, things can go bad. It's certainly a game of mental strength.
Nothing quite like it, Georgie. This young man has shown great mental strength in his game. A rising star in South African golf is Daniel Bennett. This to go to 2 under. Jump into 4th spot by himself. No problems there. Second birdie on the back 9.
Well done, Daniel Bennett. Starting to creep up that leaderboard nicely into 4th place on his own. As we see Fakori heading back to that drop zone as we talked about. Henny, a nice little ride for him as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually down here with RNA and diversity ambassador Zane Scotland. We've been laughing back and forth on what you would do. Initially, Fakori thought that he was going to drop behind the green, which is what I said I would do. But it's downhill, you're in the rough, it's too difficult. So he did actually walk all the way there with his ball, with his wedge, thinking that was what he was going to do. After having a look at it last minute, changed his mind and has gone back to the drop zone, which is in the fairway. Zane Scotland was irate at the thought and possibility of him not going to the drop zone in the fairway, saying that this drop that he was initially looking at way too tough. So eventually Fakori agreed with Zane. Now he's going back to the fairway.
Yeah, the same thing happened earlier on the 9th today when I was watching on, and it's just a pretty much a no-brainer to come back here, and you've got a 60-yard pitch in, and well, to be fair, you can make your way up and down here and walk away with par.
Oh, or maybe not. That is a big mistake from Fakori.
Hopefully that bunker has saved him. There is one short and right, which has helped out a lot of golfers over the years.
Seems like he's asked for another golf ball though, George.
Oh no. Sarcastic fist pump there.
You can't be too cute around the 18th. We've seen championships being lost right on this hole. Lots of history in Alfred Daniel championships, amateur competitions over the years.
I think Christian Maas has just launched a golf ball back to him. Oh, this is salt into the wound. He's just got to compose himself here. Sitting at even par for the championship. He can get away with a bogey here and just take your time, which he seemingly hasn't done. There we go. It's been a dramatic last 2 holes for this group, no doubt about that.
And we thought he was on quite the comeback, having got the eaglet and the birdie to kind of bring it back. But that bogey at 17 and what could be at least a double at 18.
Right, to some normality. Balala. Eagle chance. What a interesting day he too has had, but golf's all about that one shot that brings you back. Could this be it? A grandstand finish in the making. And he's just leaked it out to the right. He'll finish with a tap-in birdie and a round of 3 over. It's been an eventful round, a good one to watch. Great to get to know him.
Yeah, great finish for the Kenyan. 3 straight birdies to get him to 3 over par. Certainly go back today, reflecting, come back feeling very good for those birdies at 16, 17 and 18.
Yeah, a very good finish and a great character to have out here as well. He'll have his little baby boy Salim at home watching with wife Muada, as Christian Maas finishes with a birdie as well. 71 today, 1 under for the highest ranked player in the field. Clear frustration, but I'm sure there's only one way to go from here for him. He's too good not to improve on that, as Fakori has a double bogey putt, and why not drain it and have a bit of fun to finish. Well, it's been an interesting feature group here today. 2 over for Almedi Fakori.
Highly entertaining. 2 eagles on the card for the Moroccan. So he can definitely score out there. Just needs to minimize the damage and the mistakes. Beautiful view of the 18th and the 9th here at Leopard Creek. And this is the opening round of the Africa Amateur Championship, the wonderful Leopard Creek. Matthew Bramford setting the early pace, a 7 under 65 out in the morning. Stallion Daka, the Zambian, opening with a level par 72, as did the likes of Jordan Vessels and Jack Buchanan. Hassan Saeed from Egypt with a 1/73. Adel Balala, wonderful finish to his round today, opening 75, crowned with 3 closing birdies.
Daniel Bennett now on the 16th, par 3. Silky smooth swing. He's looking anxiously at this one. Oh, it's got a great bounce, and although it's not on the green, it's certainly a chance for these guys. That's a good result here on the tough 16th.
Jordan Burnand from the fringe at 17 to jump into 3rd place.
Going along nice and steadily, isn't he, Jordan? 3 under, stress-free par here at 17 and a birdie chance at 18. All of a sudden, he could finish the day at 4 and just be 3 shots behind. So, very solid start and a very solid 3 or 4 weeks from the young South African. As we look out, it is a stunning view. The 18th green there looking a little bit like a muffin, little muffin top there in the water. Glorious scenes here at Leopard Creek. 65-66 posted nice and early. Not too many in the red. We thought there'd be a few more in the red today. Conditions haven't been overly difficult, but as you can see, it clicks into this blue part of the scoreboard really quick. Views for Africa.
Oh, if anything, I hope they enjoyed the views, those that are not in the red. It's been a great game of golf, though, in the opening round of the Africa Amateur Championship. And really, I guess even for the guys that haven't really played well, Georgie, it's all to think that, you know what, maybe the nerves and everything else has been flushed out of the first round because you've been anxious, you've been thinking about this great tournament. Now that you've played, maybe you go out and play freely just to try and make the last 2 rounds here.
Absolutely right. One man that has his eyes on only one prize is Van der Merwe. And that is a simply superb shot here on the 16th. Would you like some fries with that, he says.
Setting up a birdie chance.
That 16th green is starting to throw some nice highlights at us. And some dance moves even from the wildlife. They're loving the footage so much.
Oh, how gorgeous is that? Matthew Bramford certainly had 0 butterflies this morning, going out to shoot a bogey-free 765. Eagle and 5 birdies for the youngster.
Deploy now on the tee from South Africa, one of 16 players representing the hosts in the field. Member of the Golf Era RSA national squad. Can he do part 1? A little bit of noise in the background there. Not the first time we've seen him pull away, but this time not his choice. After chipping in on 16, he's found his way to 2 under. Can he deliver the killer blow here on the last? He's gone left. Don't go too far left. There is an out of bounds there. Be very careful. There's an internal out of bounds to stop players from launching it onto the practice fairway. Hopefully he's A-OK down there.
Back to the 16th. Daniel Bennett just missing the green left at the par 3, but this is makeable.
I like Bennett. I like his swagger. I like his very natural looking golf game. Just 18 years of age. He seems like he's got a lot of potential there. Elton van der Merwe now. Is on a different hole, so let's go to Bernand instead on the 18th. 524 yards. Job one. Give yourself a chance at going for this green. Can it hold on to the fairway here? That is going to be interesting. It's all about the lie. If that's sitting up, could go for it. But I just get the sense if you're 3 under, it's not a bad opportunity to lay up there and get home safely.
Yeah. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Elton van der Merwe certainly with one of the shots of the day into 16.
Yeah, that was a truly glorious shot into this challenging hole. Really needs this and deserves this.
Oh no. Gotta be kidding.
Is that just me, or have we seen a lot of that today?
We have, haven't we, Georgie? We certainly have. Upon reflection, he'll know so many chances that he left out there today. Daniel Bennett, no problems for him. Cleans up for the par. Remains 2 under. Currently in a tie for 4th place alongside Simon Duploy.
We're going to have to talk to head greenkeeper Frikkie Potgieter to see what he's doing to those holes.
I think he might quicken up the greens if you...
Everything's so immaculate that the edges of the cups have just got no leeway. And the team have been working tirelessly to get everything looking simply sensational this week.
If anything, for these youngsters, I mean, you come here for the Alfred Daniel Championship, and I can tell you there is absolutely zero difference between that DP World Tour event and this inaugural Africa Amateur Championship. So they're playing on a course that's been set up in almost the same way, same conditions for sure. So this, if you've never tasted, is certainly what it's like to play at the top. Matthew Bramford nestled in very well into Leopard Creek with a 7 under 65. Ivan Verster, 6 under 66 for him. And still had 2 bogeys on his card.
There's a nice touch of shade. Sit down, have a rest. Big day walking around Kruger Park. There we go, nestle in, little afternoon nap. Maybe a 20-minute power nap. Get back to the rest of your day.
Can't be too relaxed out in the Kruger.
That's right, you've got the 20-minute nap is paramount to us. You'll wake up to...
You might just not wake up.
It'd be a scary wake-up call, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Loud one indeed as well. Start to look at that lower part of the leaderboard. Guys are gonna need to go super low tomorrow. Couple of 78s. Few players still out on the course at 6 over par as well. But if anything, lots of lessons to be learned this week.
Jogging back to the 17th tee is Henny, and she is with Elton van der Merwe.
I am indeed. And I'm a little bit scarred from this tee shot, to be honest, with what I saw earlier on with the group. Going left, 2 left, 1 right.
It was a very dramatic half hour when you were there last time.
I'm a little scarred. In my mind, this is the toughest tee shot in the world, but let's see.
Well, maybe Van der Merwe has heard about what happened and just taken an iron to be safe. And there's a bit of space there, so it's not all bad if you're in the rough there.
Yeah, it's interesting because since I was here, what was that, about 30, 45 minutes ago, the breeze really has got up. It's a marked difference. So whereas before I think you had to take driver, this is back up the hill. Now it feels like you can take an iron. But it is a short par 4.
Daniel Bennett looking to do the exact same here.
Not Danny.
And lovely little baby fade into the middle.
Well, Henny, you won't have to go help look for any golf balls with this trio. Really has been impressive. Daniel Bennett, just 18 years of age, but showing great maturity.
Here's Ella on the 18th. Humming one in low at the camera there. Beautiful view. And a beautiful result. Huge chance for eagle on the last.
Super impressive there from Isa Abuela. Simon Duploy. Left hand side at 18. No problems for him.
Sit down. Sit down.
Settle. Oh,
settle.
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 Oh, no. Settle.
Oh, maybe. Yes.
Oh, you would have read about it.
Sure. I thought I'd cursed him. I'd say no problems.
Oh.
He's gotten out of trouble at 16. Who knows? Maybe he chips this one in as well.
That is unbelievable. How felt like it was in slow motion.
Do you think he knows? He probably thinks it's
not
gone
yet.
in.
Not yet. Surely, yeah, it'll be a nervous walk as Bernand looks to join them on the dance floor. Wow. He's gone the long route, but he's there. He'll be breathing a sigh of relief to be dry.
Jordan Bernand, great prospect. 23 years of age, ranked 288th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. Winner of the 2024 South African Stroke Play Championship. So many great names before him that have won the trophy and gone on to be great golfers in the world. Finished second at the SA Amateur Championship as well. And last year had 16 top 10 finishes, including a win in a WAGR event as well.
We mentioned that victory from Alton van der Merwe in the playoff. Well, someone's got to be the unlucky customer when Alton chipped in to win it. So Jordan showing he's been in the mix the last few weeks, and there's absolutely no doubt he'll be in the mix again here this week.
With what we've seen today, you can tell he's really in great form. If his health stays up, I think we're in for a great week of watching Jordan Bernand. Even got time to say hi to everyone.
Yeah, he's
no worries for him.
Enjoying the gallery, enjoying the company of the onlookers.
And of course this week there's 20 women that are also taking part in the Africa Amateur Invitational. Caravan Khan, leading amateur in the country. Great approach into 14. Really amazing by the RNA to continue to grow not just the male golf on the continent, but the women's game as well. Kai Moodley back home from college in the US, currently leading the way by just a single shot.
Yeah, we've just come back from the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific as well, and hopefully one day the Africa Amateur Women's Invitational can grow to stature like that, because they are truly providing some great opportunities for both men and women amateurs all around the world now. So very exciting to open what's a good can of worms here in the Africa region.
Certainly is the next frontier. African golf is on the rise. Ashley Buhai certainly taken the game to great heights, and a lot of those ladies will be taking part this week. We'll be hoping that one day they can get themselves to the AIG Women's Open.
Annie, what's the distance here?
You know, he's just past this tree that's been causing everyone a lot of trouble on the left-hand side of this hole, but it's down a little bit in the rough, so it's just a sandwich for him. But he's got to really hit down on this, try and generate some speed, try and throw it up.
Yeah, we talked about the rough before. It's 50-50 whether it sits really high or gets tucked in. So as Henny said, it's pretty low, but a lovely angle into this pin, and should be able to feed it in there. Use the slope in the middle of this green. He is very aggressive, needs it to hold. As you can see there, the rough has not allowed the ball to stop, so a lot of run. Well, here we go again.
Can he do it again? Simon Duploy chipped in at the 16th. Wouldn't bet against him doing it again. Goes up high, nestled it down. Really good touch.
Well, all of a sudden he's staring down a very makeable birdie putt when he was an inch away from misery in the water. Van Can, go on. Lovely birdie on the 14th. Superbly done. The highlights are starting to roll in here late on day one. Bunan now from range here on the back of 18. Just overreading that as it holds its line. Still a very good chance to finish with a birdie and complete what has been a very steady round of golf. That for 4 under.
Yeah, pull to within 3 of the lead. Give yourself a good chance ahead of tomorrow to mount the challenge. It's really warm out there. Said the mercury would get up to around 34. Feels like it's about 40 though. Beautiful look back at the iconic 18th hole at Leopard Creek. Ella for a big eagle putt. Oh, has hit it, not quite, running out of speed. Leaves himself a tap-in birdie to close out. Opening 76.
Interesting round of golf, really, wasn't it? Not too much colour on the scorecard, but just a few chances that he couldn't quite convert. All the same, happy to be in the hut as we go to deploy. He is currently 2 under. This would bump him up to 3rd place. Just a tickle off the right edge, and he's done so beautifully. What a last few holes for the young South African. And that always feels nice on the last hole of the day.
Yeah, you know, that hole is not going to offer birdies all week, so when you do get an opportunity, you have to make them count. Alton van der Merwe, he needs to try and finish birdie. Unfortunate with the approach, couldn't quite stop it out the left-hand rough. This will be quick coming down.
This should just cruise off the right edge, pretty straight really, just got to get the pace because it is slightly downhill.
Should come slightly from his right hand side as he got the speed. Really good attempt.
Superb effort, no doubt about that.
He certainly had lots of chances out there today, Georgie.
Yeah, you can just see how those putts haven't been dropping, and his body language is starting to get a little bit, I guess, showing a little bit of frustration. But at the end of the day, Alton van der Merwe is 1 under par. And if you're in the red numbers here at the Africa Amateur, you're doing just fine.
This man's doing well. Misses the closing birdie though. Wasn't positive with that stroke. Still good enough though, 3 under 69 to open his campaign. 4 shots off the pace, currently being set by Matthew Bramford.
Yeah, very solid round from a man in form. A little sour taste to his dinner at the end there, but 3 under day one. He sits level with Simon Deploy in a tie for third. Looking to join them, Daniel Bennett for birdie on 17, and he bins it. He now goes in a tie for third as well. 3 under par. Here come the South Africans.
Massive birdie putt there for Daniel Bennett. Got ourselves a 3-way tie for third place. Matthew Bramford, 7 under 65. Seemed like himself and Ivan Fester were playing a different golf course, but conditions much easier out in the morning, and they took full advantage.
I mentioned here come the South Africans. The flags on the left say just that. It's a very dominant looking leaderboard, but all the way at the top from Zimbabwe, Matthew Bramford is the man to chase, no doubt.
Stelian Daka, the leading Zambian, out there in 9th spot at the moment. And Medi Fakori certainly gave us plenty of highlights today. Battled his way to a 2 over 74. Adel Balala, 75 for him, finished with 3 straight birdies. You can see the multitude of nationalities that have descended on Leopard Creek for the inaugural Africa Amateur Championship.
Yeah, truly special week has kicked off, no doubt about it. The inaugural playing of this championship. Wemba Chanda, he got us away early this morning off the first tee, a special moment for him. As we look at the scores, all at 8 over par 80s. It's the type of course that if you're on the wrong side of it, it can really bite you. These greens are so detailed and the pins are in very unique spots, and if you don't land it in the right place, you can get found out here at Leopard Creek.
You really have to know where to miss it, where to hit it. Don't short side yourself in any way, shape or form. You can tell just heading down the leaderboard how difficult Leopard Creek can be.
72 men will compete over 72 holes, and at the moment it's Matthew Bramford at the top, 7 under 69, highlighted by an eagle on the 6th and then 5 birdies on the back 9. A truly tremendous opening for his campaign. Ivan Verster, 6 under 66 to be 1 shot behind. And then there's a little chasing peloton starting to mount with Bernard, Deploy and Bennett all at 3 under. Can Daniel Bennett maybe go one better on the last, the par 5 18th, to jump into solo third. It's an exciting looking leaderboard, no doubt about it. Can't wait to see what happens throughout the day.
Certainly been an interesting day here, the opening round of the Africa Amateur Championship. We've seen some fantastic golf so far. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights from the first round.
Starting us off is Deploy. He provided a few highlights, didn't he? Here's a birdie opportunity at the 9th green, pouring one in from his left to right. Certainly a lovely way to end your front 9.
Christian Mars showed glimpses of brilliance throughout the day. This his birdie at 11.
Just hangs on by the skin of his teeth, that one. We thought that would trigger something special as we go to Fakuri. And what an eagle this was, dead center on 15.
At the 16th, Belala looking for a strong finish to his round. Gets the birdie at the par 3.
Well, and we stay here on the 16th. He went eagle on 15, and Fakuri goes, why not do it again on 16 for a birdie? Tremendous 2 holes from him.
Jordan Bernard, this for eagle at 15. No troubles for the young man.
And now for the fun one on 16. Quite frankly, an awful tee shot, but wow, did he bounce back in style. Oh, in for 2.
Daniel Bennett, 18-year-old, looking to make a mark. Fantastic birdie for him at 17.
And with 1 hole to go, as mentioned not long ago, can he go one better and jump into outright third?
20 women competing in their own invitational here at Leopard Creek this week. And South African #1 amateur Caravan Khan currently leading the way alongside Kai Moodley, both level par through 14 and 12 holes respectively.
Yeah, some great opportunities on the line for these golfers, and they look to be performing at a very high standard as well. Simply stunning views all day, every day here at Leopard Creek. So as we cruise back to Kaira on the 15th, as you saw in the highlights, a few eagles from the men's side of the draw. Van Can looking for an opportunity to do it herself as well. Her second in position A1. Ball just slightly back in his stance. Really good angle into this back left pin. Great movement through the ball from Van Can. And the result is even better. That is a nice uphill putt. A great look at eagle.
Great shot there from Kyra. Let's go back to the 18th. Buchanan. This for eagle. Oh.
That would have really shot him into the mix there. It looks like a nice tap and birdie though to go into red numbers. I'm sure there's many people on site here at Leopard Creek that would love to have a waterfall nearby. Buchanan. A little tap and birdie to finish. A solid day at the office. He moves to 1 under par. A quiet back 9, but finishes in style. And speaking of style, that haircut's got a little bit of it.
It does, doesn't it? Our producer would love to have hair like that. Always a pleasure walking off the 18th here at Leopard Creek with a birdie. Can tell the wind has picked up slightly from when we first came on air nearly 3 hours ago. Flying high from this morning, Matthew Bramford opened with a 7 under 65. Has himself a 1-shot lead over Ivan Fester. Look at that bunch at 3 under, all giving chase. Daniel Bennett might even jump into 3rd place on his own if he can get a birdie or eagle at 18.
Yeah, that would certainly change things around, wouldn't it? What an electric way to finish it would be for him. Leopard Creek is putting on a show. Stallion Darker even par along with Dylan Kane, Jordan Vessels and Jack Buchanan. And then we get into the blue numbers, but it's great to be here and what's been a long awaited championship, and the build-up's been exciting to see all the effort that's gone into the Africa Amateur. Has been nothing short of special. So to see some balls in the air, round 1 underway, has been good to see, and everyone's looked like they've had a lot of fun out there as well, OG.
Oh yeah, they certainly did. And even for those who are not really at the top of the leaderboard, this will be a great experience for them. Get to come out here, test yourself out against some of the top amateurs on the African continent, see where your game is, see where it could go, the possibilities that the RNA are putting here for you. It's definitely a nice learning ground for you if you come out this week.
It certainly is, and if you can witness close up in person what the best of the best is, not only with the players but also the setups and everything that goes into a championship like this, if you can come here, experience what it feels like to be competing and joining some of the best in the world, you're going to take away a lot from that, aren't you?
And not just the players, just all the federations across the continent. You see what Golf RSA are doing in South Africa, what they've done for the players. A lot of others can take it, go back home and really put platforms for you to create greatness on the African continent, because the talent is certainly there.
Not only is there talent, there is wildlife galore. Kruger National Park right on your doorstep. Where else would you rather be?